So we're back. We're gonna have a break from the Celica. As you've seen last week, we've dropped the engine out. We're gonna have a good look over it, aren't we? Order some bits. We're gonna get all the bits ordered before we start taking stuff apart and forget how to put it back together.
Hopefully today, which we are, this will be fully finished. You're gonna see how it goes, because we think it's been mapped. It may be running stage 3, just from what we've seen on the dials on the dash. Like I say, we have been doing this over a period of few weeks, because I've been getting bits and bobs in, just kind of doing that. So this video now is probably going to go a bit back in the past.
Yeah.
And then
a little flashback.
And then up to date, because we've got bumpers, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a bumper, we've got track rod ends. Steering track rod ends. Because we took it for tracking, and they couldn't do it. Because there were two C's, so we brought some new ones to change them. We're going to get that done today.
And we got some exhaust tips as well.
We've got some exhaust tips. We've got Moropovich.
I've had eight tips in total. Could have had two sets of 4, but you're all going to see this now. So we're going to crack on, get this done, and then
get rid of this side skirt now, aren't we?
Yes. So we'll just have a quick walk round. What's got to be done? Windscreen's got to be done. Hey presto, done. So the guys are A to B windscreens. If you need them, give them guys a call. They come out and fit this screen. Literally took them 30 minutes. I was going to record it, but I couldn't set up a GoPro in time. They'd already done it. So yeah, they come out, they fitted it. I think it was £430. So this has got the heads up display, and it's got the camera and the sensor at the top, which this makes the screen a bit more expensive, but I was happy at the 430 because I was getting some ridiculous quotes on this. And they said the difference on the screens with the heads up display, apparently the glass is thicker at the bottom to kind of create a wedge shape, to then create the right angle for that heads up display to go on the screen, so you see it in your vision when you're driving down the road. So windscreen, that's ticked off, and it just makes it look so much, without a smashed screen, it just looks more like it's changed the car completely. So I've got to take that tape off. Bumpers at Jones's, so we'll be getting that back in this episode and fitting that. We've got a pile of bits there, inner arches, bits and bobs to go on. Suspension, we've finally got this suspension. It's second hand, low mileage. The guy, it was off an M3. The guy changed it for some coilovers, but he sold the car with the coilovers on, so he had the suspension left over. That's when I bought it. So I've got more or less everything in this, apart from top mounts, because he needed that, but mine should be fine. But we're missing like these little metal bits for the rear, what the spring sits in, which I've got. I've got 2 front, 2 rear shock absorbers. I'm going to change the 2 fronts in this to try and eliminate this camber we've got on there. That shock's popped anyway. So first things first, we'll probably get onto them, fitting that, see if we can get that sorted. Then moving around the back, battery cable, I've swapped that out. So this is the old one, what I literally pushed back together. So that's got the new one in now, so all the airbag lights are off now. Like I said, this will start up with that when you push it back together, but it'll keep the airbag light on because the sensor inside this is obviously blown and it shows up a fault. So that can all go back together in the boot. Tailpipes, remember my tailpipes have been nicked, so I've got no tailpipes. So I've ordered some, I presume they're knockoff at the end of the day. Cost me just under 200 quid for a set of 4. The problem I've got, I've ordered these, I should have checked that they're a 70mm outlet, and apparently a standard M3 and M4 has a 70mm outlet, but my exhaust, I don't know if I can show you on this, on the Akrapovic system is a 60mm. It's a 60mm outlet, so I've kind of messed up a bit there. So what I've done, I've messaged the guy, because I was waiting ages for these as well. I've messaged the guy and just said, look, they don't fit. I've shown him that. Obviously I didn't realise, I just presumed that they'd be the same. So hopefully you can say I've got them in stock, 60mm, and I'll send them back, swap them over. So in this episode, hopefully I'll get them back, we'll get them on. That's the exhaust, because they do look good. I'll quickly show you. I haven't took the wrapper off because we're going to send it back. But it does make, when that's sitting there like that, you imagine there's 2 each side, so there'll be 4 in total. You know what I mean? It'll look apart, that will. And that's it then, we're going to get it 4-wheel aligned. There's another thing I want to show you. If I go into, I think it's options, so if we go down to this sports displays, see that's brake horsepower and this is like talking Newton meters. Apparently, if this car was completely bog standard, that would say 450. I can't remember what the torque says. Might be 500, I'm not too sure. But this says 720, and I know you can change that. You can't physically change it here on that. But if you have the car, when you have the car mapped, that is normally changed. And I don't know, is it stage 1, stage 2, stage 3? I don't. It seems a lot to read the gate. I mean, we've only drove this car around the block. We haven't given it any of the beans or anything like that, so we don't know. So in this episode, we'll see if what this goes up to. Because when you drive this and put your foot down, this gauge goes up to tell you what brake horsepower you're using and the torques you're using. So, is it a standard car? Is it mapped? Is it? We know it's got an exhaust on, and the other thing we know as well, it's got decats. Like, there's no cats in the car at all. It's got downpipes. I did a bit of research. Obviously you can have them mapped, that's stage 1. Stage 2 is normally downpipes, and then stage 3 is downpipes, hybrid turbos, and a few other little bits and bobs, like the hard pipes on the top of the on the engine. They normally change these because they crack, but they look, I don't know, but they look completely standard to me. That's a bog standard charge cooler. I can't see any other bits. I don't know, do they change injectors? I know they apparently run different plugs, but just let us know in the comments if you think this is standard or it may have been mapped. So what I'm going to do now, we'll get this on the ramp because we've got to get all this wheel off, get on with that suspension. I'll set up a GoPro and we'll get into this. Okay, so shock absorber is out on this left hand side. So the kit I haven't got with this one is the top mounts, because obviously you use them when you put your coilovers on. So I'm going to strip these down. And remember, I only had 3 springs when I got this car, so I bought another set of E-back springs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the top mount off, I'm going to put the new E-backs on this new shocker. Can't really see any differences with it at the minute. We'll strip it down and we'll put them together, see if we can see if anything's bent. But you can see how this is quite dirty around here, and just generally like some oil's been there and obviously dirt's got onto it. So this shock is popped. That's a good sign. If you're looking around at shocks, it'd be all wet and dirty from stuff off the road, where this, it is dirty but it isn't wet. I don't know if you can see that slightly moving round and round, where that, so that shock is definitely, even though it's popped, it's bent as well. So the other thing, this bottom plate was damaged, which you've got a replacement second-hand one, so that's going to go back on. The disc, I'm going to clean that up, and I'll probably put a bit of silver paint on that, and I'll do that on all the discs. I've got to get more or less all the wheels off, because I'm going to do this shocker on here, and then on the rear I've got to do that spring. So all the wheels will basically probably come off. Shock's all built now. Just quickly clean the bottom off so no rubbish would kind of stop it sliding in nicely. I didn't need a spring clamp because it's lowering spring, slightly shorter. I managed to push down on the top mount, get the bolt in and nip it up a bit. And yeah, so no need to use a spring clamp to get them on or off. So we'll get this and get it back on. Another little thing I wanted to kind of do before I put these discs back on is they were just, because it's been sat and been crashed into a field, there's just all this build up on the discs, all the little holes are full like of mud. I've already got the wire wheel on half of that and it's just 10 times better. Cleaned all this off, that is like just grey normally, just a wire wheel, and that's the other one I've cleaned up. But obviously if I don't paint any of this, I mean you only see that part, the wheel covers that and obviously the brake pad keeps rubbing that down, so I'm just going to paint that. I've got some VHT black, so it's like a heat, I mean if you get it really hot it probably will bubble off, but this is better than just using normal paint. I've only got a little bit of that and I've got black. I was thinking about doing that silver, but if I do it black, any sort of brake dust you're not going to see and it'll look a lot tidier than it being rusty and dirty. So I'll carry on cleaning this off. I'm going to do the same with the rears. It just tidy it up when the wheels are back on. It just looks a bit tidier. As you can see, that'll all, the pad will wear all that off, but it just look a lot more tidier. Let's have a quick look at this now. We'll put it down on the deck and see what is going on. I'm happy now. I mean, obviously that spring weren't sitting right on the rear, so that's going to be causing loads of problems, making it look uneven. It was looking quite low before. I mean, it is still low now, but not as low as it was. It's still got a bit of arch gap on the front, where before it was sitting really low on the front, and this side is just exactly the same, and it's just 10 times better. I mean, you can see with how this wheel is now sitting against the arch, exactly the same as that side. So obviously it does need tracking up. They need a bit of tracking because we've changed arms and undone stuff, so they need all setting back up. Yeah, I'm happy now, and I'm sure Jack and Dave will when they come and see it, because Dave, for some reason, he doesn't like cars low, but I like them just nice. Not too high, but not on the floor, but yeah, it's looking better.
I don't know if you can see me, but I'm here.
You got that? Is that the high vis merch for when you?
High vis merch for when I'm collecting them motors. Right, so I've jumped the gun. I've opened the parcel. We've got the parcel from Dan. Dan at the airbag team. They're all right, man. He hooked me up. So anyway, he sent us a new dash, and he's actually sent us the better dash.
Yeah. So going back on what Dave's saying, remember when we fitted the dash?
Yes.
And the dash was wrong.
It's not wrong. It's just the LCI model.
It's the face.
So the speaker
cover
was different. Dan's.
It was just a clip.
Yeah, it's just a clip. So Dan sent me that, and I think, fair play to them, they've even brought us the pocket from BM.
Okay.
So you can't knock them.
No.
Do you know what I mean? They're 100 mile an hour. I've had a few sets of airbags off them now. You've had just 2 sets of airbags off them. We've had a fair few seat belts off them.
And if there's anything wrong,
they sort it out.
Yeah, and they send you a label.
They send you a label and they send it back. There's none of this no crap. They go, yeah, no problem. And they sort it out. So yeah, get at them. There's just no hassle with them.
No.
He's going to go and get his bumper that he's had painted by Jonesy, the one who's got the Cosy. Which, good news, a little bit of an update. We had a little bit of a moan because a few of you keep asking where the Cosy is, if I've sold it and all that. But he's booked it in, and I think he starts Monday, and he's going to have 2 good weeks on it.
That isn't starting the car.
So
it's just,
yeah,
he's going to spend 2 weeks getting the last
so
bits done, isn't
hopefully, yeah, end of the month, back to the bumper.
It's one colour, mate. It's black.
It doesn't actually. It looks all right. That does, mate. It's got some nice pearl in it. Ooh.
Yeah, but I will say something. I did notice when I was putting these washer jets in, which are off the original bumper.
Oh yeah.
It's slightly out, I think. But
Put it
he
on.
says if there's any problems,
This
bring it
bumper
back.
was a dog, wasn't
Oh
it?
mate, 100% it was a dog. You kept saying to me, can't you not get another bumper?
Oh, split it.
Yeah, there's a bit rust.
No laughing. No laughing. I've had to get on the bonnet and adjust it and get the gaps right because I'm good with
Sit
gaps. But yeah, it's the wrong colour.
I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but I thought at first
Stevie Wonder can pick this up.
I thought that is just the bumper was cleaner than the car, but no, it is a
This is
darker
more-
shade, would you say?
I would say this is more pastel,
Yeah.
and that's more, or is it the other way around? That's more pastel and this is more pearl. I think that's the conclusion.
I know what you're saying, this is like a pastel-y.
Yeah, that's more pastel and this is more pearl, like a bit of a lighter blue. That's a pastel there and that's pearl.
But like I said, I did notice when I
Yeah.
put the washer jet
Have a little
covers,
look.
and I have spoke to Jonesy and he said, look, get the bumper on,
But I tell
bring
you
it
what,
to me, and he'll match it all to the car then.
I know I don't do much to out round here, right? Yeah. And
Apart from negativity and grief.
I've already took your lunch money off you, haven't you, today? So
Yes.
that's all right. I can buy some lunch now. But I tell you what, I ain't half got that gap right. If I do say so myself. That's a notch. So I am impressed with that, you know. Like the fact that Jones is going to take this off and not get it as good as that. Like, whoa, tell you what.
You have to reline it up. You're in the wrong game, you aren't you?
I am. I should be lining bumpers up, shouldn't I?
Bumper game.
Come and have a check of this, sir. Is that nice and flat and straight and wonderful? So as you know, he's got a Akapovic exhaust system on this M4, but somebody at Coparts have definitely nicked the tips. So, like Stokes said, he's been through 8 tips now, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. And finally we've got a set that we think that fits. There she is. Is this how you spell Akapovic, made in Slovenia? I think it is.
Looks about right, yeah.
I think these actually might be genuine. It looks tidy with that. If anybody needs one of these, it is a little bit damaged there. Leave a message and you
We'll
can
send
have
it to you.
You can have it.
Well, you might have to get it.
I'll even pay for the postage. Please
It
explain
was
what you're
temporary
doing.
fix.
No.
And it didn't work. So I'm going to see if I can temporary.
Is that properly, is it?
temporary
Was that properly?
Yeah, it was.
Was it properly?
So show us.
Do you want me
No.
to just...
Don't. Why have you got to ruin the fun? To show everybody.
Stop
So
bullying me, you both of you.
look at the state of that. Right.
It was just to see if it got rid of the problem. And
I could tell you now, right, it would get rid of the problem.
I think it caused another problem, that.
Say something.
Okay.
Jack does
I'm
this
gonna get
as
a
more or
new
less as a job every day, and Stokesy said you're not qualified.
Not in bodging.
He's done this before. Don't work.
The art of bodging.
I don't know what. You're normally really OCD about that, Dave.
Well, I don't understand what your problem is.
It's on the pitch.
No, it's not.
It's running down like that. Look at the gap there. Look at the gap there.
No, it's not.
It is, and you know it is.
Nah. No, it's not.
40.
Yeah.
35. It's glued on, mate.
But you're taking them off.
I know you keep saying taking them off, but I'm not taking them off. Why don't you just put it on level?
I didn't have a level.
You know when you're following a car?
No, you don't.
It wraps you up.
No, I don't look at the number plate.
You don't look at number.
No. Only if they're private and I try and work them out.
Come on.
She's. What do you think, Dave? I know we've got to get. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but that's going to get done.
It's done, bar a few things in it.
Yeah, we're more or less there now.
He's got to have the bump. He's got to have the car to match the bumper.
Yes.
You've got a couple of little holes at the back that need sorting.
Yeah,
as well.
so put a big guy.
It's a few quality of life things in it, nothing major. You can drive and use it now.
Drivable now. You've still got to sort the one
Exhaust flat. I've sorted one.
and the sat nav's telling you.
No, it's sorted.
I was sorted yourself out.
We had to take this edge unit back and he missed a cable, you know.
As
You
you
weren't
do.
my side that way.
Oh, right.
I'm not even mentioning whose side it was.
Come on, tell them what we're going to do next week.
Oh, sorry.
Just to sum all
We're
this
going
up.
to do the price breakdown and we're going to, bit different, we ain't going to be in the unit, we're going to do
Yeah.
a bit of driving.
Price breakdown, and we're going to tell you if it's worth buying a crashed one or just
Yeah.
going out and buying a normal one.
So what are you going to say, Dave?
Like, follow, share and subscribe.
And it... I never even got close to his bell icon.
I even forget every week he's going to come and then I go, ugh, and hit the bell button for the latest videos.
New videos, yeah?